Our brain is an incredible thing, so we've got to determine how our brain actually works. You know, it's really just a bunch of nerve cells up there. There's about 12 to 15 billion neurons. And some of these neurons they're excitable cells, all right? They actually release sort of electrochemical signal, all right? And when they release that electrochemical signal, it tells the other cells what to do, or begins our whole thinking process.
Like a dopamine?
Yeah.
Dopamine, yes.
Dopamine, okay, yeah. All right. What do you know about dopamines?
I just know it's a chemical made by the brain that I believe makes you excited.
Makes you excited.
I think so, yes.
Okay. It said releases whatever, and then you do or you take the actions based on the place of that.
Whatever has triggered it.
Whatever has triggered it. That's exactly right. What triggers our brain is our 5 physical senses. The things that we taste, the things that we smell, the things that we hear, the things that we touch, and the things that we see. And so if we understand what causes our brain to trigger our 5 physical senses, we can literally take charge or take control of our brain by triggering it. Let me ask you this. Have you ever like seen a stick or something on the ground and you thought it was a snake and you jumped?
Yes.
Okay? That happens all the time. What literally occurs is that our brain was triggered through our sight senses, okay? Went all the way down to what would be considered our old brain and tells us, be careful, watch out. Right? It warns us. Instinctively, it happens so rapidly, within about 2 milliseconds, which is 2,000ths of a second, our brain literally tells us to be careful, watch out what we're doing. Okay? It takes about 500 milliseconds, or about a half a second, for the message to receive our logical thinking in our brain, and we realize that it's just a stick that we saw. It wasn't a snake at all, and we didn't have to be afraid. But what occurred when we saw the stick is when we smell something, have you ever smelled something that reminds you of your mother's cooking or reminded you of something?
Right. Many times.
Many times.
Many times, yes.
And that's what literally happens, is that it triggers. Have you ever heard a song and it took you back to when you were younger? And so if we understand what causes our brain to trigger our 5 physical senses, we can literally take charge or take control of our brain by triggering it. Make sense? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Have you ever heard that song?
Yes.
How does it go? Do you know how it finishes out?
Merrily, merrily, right down the stream, I believe.
Yeah. Merrily, 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 whatever, down the stream,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I said the first part of the song, and then it triggered your memory to remember the second
So
part
it's
of the
like
song.
that background memory.
Right. It pulls it up is what it really does, okay? Which means that you can trigger your brain. If you can trigger your brain, if you can use things to trigger your brain, that means you can take control of the brain. You can literally control anything that you can trigger.